Welcome back to the Baltimore Flockcast, the #1 Ravens podcast in the world. I'd like to say thank you to you guys that are still tuning in because, man, it is a really hard time to be a Ravens fan. It's a really hard time to consume Ravens content. To be honest, it's really hard to even watch their games, especially this weekend with all the injuries now and Lamar missing this game against the Texans. And we'll dive into the injuries later, but man, I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you guys that still are watching this show during this rough skid, because I know it's hard to hear about everything that's going on right now, but we will make it through. I also would like to say I am sorry. I feel like all these losses have been my fault. Just putting it out there for the one win the Ravens had. I had a normal title in the video. I think it was about Flacco's homecoming. And every loss we've had so far, the titles have been Buffalo Hate Week, Lions Hate Week, Chiefs Hate Week. From what I'm picking up here, it seems like the Hate Week episodes have been a curse. So I am putting an end to the Hate Week episodes. I don't think it really even matters because Cooper Rush is playing quarterback this weekend. And I'm trying to do anything I can. I'm sorry. Gotta say that. No more Hate Week episodes. Sounded cool, but we're done. I guess let's get the elephant in the room addressed. We have been ravaged. We have been absolutely decimated with injuries. Let's take it from the top. The injury check-in. Roquan Smith, he has hurt his hamstring. It's looking like it's going to be a few weeks for him, maybe 2 to 3 weeks. As of right now, it's pretty annoying. All these guys, no one's really listed as out for the game this weekend, but everyone, it says like questionable 2 to 3 weeks. So that's why I'm going to give you guys the breakdown, because it seems like the Ravens don't even know what's going on with the injuries, or they don't want to tell the public. Roquan is definitely not going to play this weekend. I would not count on it, especially with a hamstring injury. I would expect at the bare minimum this week, but I'm going to say we're going to go 2 games Roquan's going to be out for, unfortunately. It's not great. There's no way you can cut it here. Roquan being hurt, let alone this long list of people. I'm really worried about this Texans game. Not having Roquan out there, it's going to be honestly a great opportunity for Teddy Buchanan and Trenton Simpson. But we're going to be hurting without Rowe out there. I know a lot of Ravens fans have been dissing on Rowe this year, this season, really. But let's be honest, the whole defense as a whole is just not great anymore. We're not playing to the level they should be. But Rowe is a piece that we're definitely going to miss, and it's going to hurt us a lot. I'm sure you guys have seen that Nnamdi, I announced it on the last episode that he'd be out for the season. Unfortunately, it looks like what I said has officially been announced, that Nnamdi Madubuike is out for the year with his neck injury. Not good to see that in the official writing, but I gave you guys the warning. Neck injuries are always very troubling. I mean, take it from me. I even had a neck injury when I was a young kid playing football. Tore some ligaments, damaged some nerves in the neck, and I know I'm not an NFL athlete, but I'm not the same from that, and that was forever ago. So I can't imagine what Nnamdi's going through. Unfortunately, we talked about this as well in the last episode. We were worrying that, I keep saying we, it's me. I'm sorry. I was worrying that it could be possibly career-threatening. This has now been published as well, that this could be a possible career-threatening injury for Nnamdi. And if I'm being honest, guys, I would not get your hopes up here, especially with the position he plays, the constant impact to that region coming off the line. We had the Grayson Rodriguez analogy on the last episode. I'm going to say it here again. Just, you'd be better mentally if you just assume that he's never going to play again. And for people that aren't Orioles fans, Grayson Rodriguez is a great young pitcher we have. And same case, but unfortunately Grayson didn't really get to play a whole lot. Seems like Grayson may never play again. Same thing with Nnamdi. It's just better mentally to assume that they're not coming back. Man, this is a really happy, fun, uplifting episode, isn't it? Let's continue with the injuries. Marlon Humphrey. His calf, it's looking like it's going to be a few weeks. Definitely going to say that Marlon, he's another one of those guys that's questionable. I'm definitely going to say that Marlon's going to miss this game against the Texans. I think there's a possibility he could be back for the next week. I believe it's the Rams game that we play the Rams the week after. But they're saying it could be 2, could be 3 weeks for Marlo. I'm praying maybe it's just a 1 and he misses a lot of practice in the next week and we try to see if he can play in next week game or the next week's game. Apologizes. This season's got my head all messed up. Yeah, it's looking like Marlo is going to be out for a little bit of time with his calf injury. You guys want some positive news? Pat Ricard could be back this Sunday. Thank the Lord. Positive news in the injury realm. If he's not back, it's not the end of the world. Mitchell Payton has been doing pretty good with his fullback duties. I mean, at this point, it kind of feels like Pat should just wait till the next week. What's the point in playing in this Texans game? Because no one else is healthy and no one can play anyway. So it just kind of seems like we're tanking this game. I hope it's not true. I hope the second, I can't even call them the second team. I hope the third team steps up and really comes through for us. Andrew Wiggins, this was a weird one. He had an elbow injury and he was carted off. You don't see guys get carted off a lot for upper body injuries, but he was carted off. It's a bit interesting. So Wiggins, there's even more uncertainty to his injury. All of these guys have uncertainty because the Ravens aren't really coming out with really much of anything other than just questionable. But for Wiggins, we've not really seen much or heard much at all. I'm definitely going to say that he's going to miss this game with his elbow injury. I'm not too sure on a timetable. Hopefully it's a short term, like 2 weeks like the rest of these guys, but unfortunately, I don't really have an answer for Andrew. I said Andrew Wiggins, man. Andrew Wiggins, I'm sure he's doing great in the basketball realm, but Nate Wiggins, sorry about that, mental lapse. Nate, I'm not too sure about his injury. Hopefully it's short term here. I guess I will update you guys more when we get more information. A little bit worried about this elbow injury. Another one, shocker, he's questionable, Ronnie Stanley. His ankle, so he was banged up coming into last week. Then he got hurt and couldn't give it a go. I expect him to miss this week too. Like I said just a few minutes ago, there's no reason to push anyone out there if they're feeling slightly banged up because the whole team's just got the case of the mumps. We're not doing good. We got the suds, whatever you want to call it. I would say Noteboom's going to start this game at left tackle. It's the whole reason why we brought him in here. Ronley's going to be out for this week, and then I would say we can expect him to be back the week after playing against the Rams. He just needs a good week, a good rest, to give him some time. Man, this is the one we're really all coming in here for to hear about. Lamar Jackson. As of now, it's Wednesday night. I'm recording this. Lamar is listed as doubtful. I'm going to put you guys onto some game here. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but whenever a player is listed as doubtful, they never play. Unless it's an act of God, there's no chance this player is playing. If you ever see a guy listed as doubtful, they are not going to play. On top of that, they said 2 to 3 weeks for Lamar. Also, I'm getting kind of sick of this. Is everyone out 2 to 3 weeks? Or you got to put on our tinfoil hats here? Like, what's going on here? But 2 to 3 weeks, according to the source, it's his hamstring injury that happened against the Chiefs. I would like to say, what a commotion from our quarterback couches, our uncles, our grandpas, our Dundalk friends saying Lamar faked the injury. That is just absolute heinous talk. These people really just try to take any opportunity they can to disservice one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and it just makes me sick. Even heard someone say, yeah, I know statistically Lamar is one of the greatest quarterbacks ever, but he's just not good enough to be the quarterback of this team. What are you talking about? I try not to give that type of talk that much thought or airtime, but man, I've seen it all over Twitter. Why would this man fake an injury? He's never shown anything in his career character-wise for him to do this. So it's just absolutely idiotic to assume that he's faking an injury. Yes, they said 2 to 3 weeks for Lamar. I know Lamar is the kind of guy where he's really going to push through and try to play as soon as he can. And maybe this is just me being optimistic and hoping that he's back after this Texans game and he's ready for the Rams. But I'm going to hold out hope. I'm going to say Lamar's only out for 1 week. I know it says 2 to 3 weeks, but maybe this is just me clinging on to something so I don't end my life at the end of the night. I don't know if we can put that on the podcast, but I'm sure we're all feeling the same way. It's a hard time to be a Ravens fan. Please, Lamar, just come back after this Texans game. On to the next one. And what do you know? Questionable. Travis Jones, questionable. I expect him to play, though. This is another good injury update. So he practiced even last Thursday a little bit. He was almost ready to go for the game last week. So that's why I think this week he should be ready to suit up. I know he's not Namdi, but at least just having one of our guys on the interior is going to really just help tremendously. We've been missing him and Namdi a lot. So having a guy like Travis back on the line, man, we missed you. Happy to have you back. Good Lord. Another good injury update. Kyle Van Noy should be back for this game. I'm going to say this with a bit of an asterisk when I'm saying these guys should be back. Like I said earlier, this could just be one of those games where everyone rests because, we got 15 guys missing the game. So if you feel any pain at all, why should you risk it? But at this moment, I'm saying Kyle Van Noy, expect him to suit up. He should be back, should be ready for the Texans. Continuing on the positive note, Emery Jones made his practice debut. This was our 3rd round pick for you casuals or you guys that haven't heard the name in a while. He is a tackle from LSU. And this is great news. Not just that a lineman is healthy and ready to add to our group, just that someone is healthy and coming back ready to play. He's going to be a great addition. Hopefully we can flex him around, see where we can play him. I mean, he can maybe fill in for Stanley if Stanley's out next week, but I'd probably give that push to Noteboom. All due respect. But who knows? Maybe we can get creative here because we even saw Falele, as we know, move to guard last year and this year. Who knows? Maybe we could see Emery switch to guard, get a little crazy, fill in, do what we can just to get by this season and try to win this division, man. I would like to say we do need to check ourselves as fans because I've been noticing a lot of immense negativity from our fan base regarding our players. I'm not saying you can't talk down on a player, you can't share your opinion, but if we're just constantly spewing out ignorant, dumb stuff about Lamar, for example. Lamar is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. And if we're spewing out constant nonsense, that just doesn't even make sense. It looks bad. Why would a free agent want to come and play here if we're tearing down one of the greatest players, if not the greatest player in franchise history? Something to keep in mind. You always hear Philly getting a bad rap. It's there for a reason. I'm a Sixers fan, so I can say Philly's got terrible fans. I'm not saying we're like Philly, but we're pretty close. We're not the best group of fans here. And I'm sure when free agents are looking at where to sign, I know they don't care about what fans say, but it's got to be in the back of their head. I'm signing this contract to Philadelphia, for example. If I make the slightest mistake, these fans are going to be coming for my neck. Yes, that is completely up to you. Your right, your discretion as a fan. You're allowed to do that if it's deserved. But if we're just making these dumb claims and just spewing out ignorant stuff, it makes us all look bad. Just keep that in mind. It's just a little PSA. I'm going to get off my soapbox because the team sucks anyway. What can I say? But we're hurt. I'll give them a break. I'm just hoping that we aren't the 2025 Orioles. This city cannot go through this again. All the injuries the Orioles had, how that season ended up in the toilet. I'm just praying that this is not a repeat of what we saw this summer and this summer with the Orioles. but I'm sure you guys have seen there's a lot of interesting similarities to the 2012 season when we won the Super Bowl with the injuries, how they've happened, the positions they've happened to. But guys, I know we're trying to hold out hope here, but I don't know if we can act like we're going to win the Super Bowl just because we're having similar injuries to important players. But it is interesting to note. Oh, another thing to note here as well, late season games, they're going to count. This isn't going to be a year where we have a backup quarterback and most of the backup offense playing in the last week or two of the season. We're going to be fighting down to the wire, especially if you look at our schedule. We have Pittsburgh late, like every year we do. That game's probably going to be for the division. I'm not too confident on the Ravens winning a large amount of games this year, especially with the injuries we have. So with our luck, it's probably going to come down to that last game of the year against Pittsburgh to win the division and to get into the playoffs. Hopefully, we're all fully healthy by then and we can just kick their teeth in. A man can dream. So I guess we'll see. And as of right now, I do have tickets to that game, so I might be going to that. But a bit of a side note here. It is that same day when we play the Steelers. It is also LeBron's last, because we're all going to assume that it's LeBron's last season here. That's the same time LeBron has his last game ever, possibly in Philadelphia. So it's a hard decision. Do I see the Ravens possibly win the division at home against our rivals, the Steelers? Or do I go to a game where it'd be the last chance to ever see LeBron play on his reunion tour, or I guess his farewell tour, sorry, in Philadelphia, and it would be my first time ever seeing LeBron play in person. So tough decision. I guess let me know what you think I should do in the comments, even though this is a Ravens show. Seeing LeBron would be pretty cool, let's be honest. Let's start talking about the game a little bit more. So the Texans defense, I'm going to say it's sneaky good. They're really hot, especially coming off this big upswing. They're coming off of a shutout. I know they played the Titans, but shutting out any team in the NFL, it's an impressive feat, and it's a hard feat. D'Amico Ryan's great coach. He played for the Texans back in the day. This defensive unit, it's pretty solid. I love Stingley. There's a lot of dudes on that defense. So I'm pretty worried, especially us having our JV squad in with Cooper Rush, or who even knows, Tyler Huntley might play. Maybe I should put that up as a poll on the social media. You guys think that Tyler Huntley will get some snaps in there? Because who knows what's going to happen. But I'm a bit worried about our JV squad going up against that sneaky good Texans defense. Guess we'll see how it turns out there. We need to establish the run, obviously. I really wrote that with Lamar expected to play. But now that I know Lamar is not going to be in, some things are going to change. So Derrick Henry only has 54 total touches through 4 games played. Now with Lamar being out, this number is going to go up a lot. Even if it's just this one game Lamar is out. I'm expecting Derrick Henry to get 30 carries, probably. Not even touches. Derrick's going to be fed, I'm saying, at least 25 carries for Derrick Henry, maybe a few catches, maybe even 30 carries. Derrick's going to be fed. It's going to be like old school Alabama. Maybe you could see a crazy resurgence on the ground for Derrick Henry, like 200 yards on the ground. I'm praying. Touchdown or 2, because our offense will be Derrick Henry, whether you like it or you don't, I guess I should say. But we've been saying, I keep saying the we thing. I've been saying previously on the show that the way to win, the way for the offense to work, if Zay performs, we perform. It's as simple as that. We got to get him the ball. But that might be changing now with Cooper Rush now under center. Well, I still think we got to get Zay back on track. It's a way for our offense to move and to be, honestly, just productive. Since it's going to be Cooper Rush out there, I'm going to see a lot of dump offs, a lot of like just short check downs. So maybe we see a good mix of Andrews once again in the pass game. A lot of short slants and screens to Zay. Not expecting anything crazy from any of our pass catchers. If anyone, maybe Mark Andrews is going to have a decent day in fantasy, but I'll be honest, if you're a fantasy owner of anyone on this Ravens offense, you should be a little bit worried. Derrick Henry's going to have a great day. That's about it. not feeling too confident about really anyone in this offense. I wrote this down. This is kind of interesting. Just picture. It won't happen, but it would be cool. Picture Derrick Henry at quarterback, right? And in the backfield, we have like Justice Hill, Pat Ricard, maybe even throw Keaton Mitchell out there, do a full house pistol formation. That would be absolutely disgusting. Don't even put Cooper Rush out there. Just put out all the backs, run the ball every play. Hell, even run the wing T if you guys want to. Only throw 2 passes. Let's just have a gritty game on the ground. Yeah, let's cut to the chase here. The Texans suck, but so do we as of right now, and we're very hurt. I'm just hoping this could be a get-right game, if that's even possible, without Lamar being active and half of our team, honestly. We just need a win for this city and just for the confidence of this team. I don't feel good about this prediction at all. I don't feel good like the health of our team. Man, look at that. The Ravens are favored by 3.5. I feel like this has changed because Lamar was questionable when I wrote that down. I'm going to do a live check to see how much this line has changed because I'm sure there's no chance we're favored by 3.5 anymore. So let me just cover some dead air while I'm pulling up the FanDuel on my fiance's phone. Man, it's moving slow. Okay, maybe not. I'm going to Google this one instead. Ravens spread. Texans. Okay. Phone is not working at all. This is awesome. Nothing better than dead air. All right. Wow, the spread shifted pretty big. So the last time I checked, I wrote this down about a day ago. The Ravens were favored by 3.5. Lamar was questionable. Now that Lamar is doubtful, essentially out for the game, the Texans are now favored by 1.5 points. So, going off of that, do I feel good about Cooper Rush playing quarterback? No. Do I feel good about anyone playing quarterback for this team that's not named Lamar Jackson? Not really. But I'm going to be honest, Cooper, I just don't love you. Haven't seen much that's ever excited me. Career backup, don't really fit in our offense at all. That's why I didn't really understand the signing. But either way, God, I have a dog hair in my nose. I'm sorry. If we feed Derrick Henry like I think we will, and we should, because there's nothing else we really can do, I think King Henry will eat, and we should be victorious. Are we going to win by a lot? God, no. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be a stinky game. Hopefully our defense can show up, at least our JV defense, that is. I'm very worried about this game. I don't feel good doing a prediction here. With Lamar questionable, I said Ravens 28-20. That sounds decent to me, but I'm going to move it down a little bit more. I'm going to say Ravens win 24-20, maybe 24-17. Not a fantastic day. A pretty defensive game. Hopefully King Henry has a solid day on the ground, but I'm not super excited for this game. So that's why, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you guys for still listening, because it's a hard time to be a Ravens fan right now and consume Ravens content. Make sure you subscribe, like this video, give me 5 stars, give me a thumbs up, a rating. Share this with your auntie, your uncle, your racist grandpa in Dundalk that thinks Flacco is still a better quarterback than Lamar to this day. Help us grow. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you next week for the Rams game. Hopefully we're healthier.